of his uncle, as well as an exposure to some of the oppression and inhuman treatment of his fellow men by colonizers, Comrade Matiza decided to drop out of school and joined the armed struggle under Zipra forces in 1975. It was then that he left for Zambia via Botswana for training to become a full and active member of the Zipra forces.
We just got to see a bit of the life story of the late Minister Dr. Joel Biggie Matiza. His outstanding leadership and skill gave a facelift to the transport and infrastructural development portfolio, a nerve center for the transformative thrust of the Second Republic and the National Development Strategy NDS1. We now take a look once again at some of the life that was led by the late S.B. Moyo. He earned a master's degree in national relations and a PhD in international relations from the University of Zimbabwe, as well as a master's degree in business administration from the Zimbabwe Open University. Let's take a look.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. In 1976, towards the end, at Manama Secondary School in Gwanda, the political environment changed drastically following the departure of about 7 students who were in Form 3 and Form 4 who decided to skip the border into Botswana to join the liberation struggle. Resultantly, the Rhodesian government responded by deploying soldiers in the area. And unfortunately, that deployment ended up on the school campus. And this had a really serious effect on all the students who were at Manama. Come 1977, opening of the schools, I recall it was on a Sunday, as we were preparing to go in for the evening prayers. Suddenly there was commotion in the school, and we saw armed men running all over the shore and pushing everybody to come to the assembly area. And that's when we realized that we had visitors, and the visitors were comrades. And this happened when the Rhodesians had driven out of the school campus. The address then, which was given, very prompt and to the point, that you guys, we are going to the struggle. And from there, we started the march towards the border. This was a long march, 40 kilometers to be precise, to the border with Botswana.
We are getting to learn the history of the late Lieutenant General retired Sibusiso Busi Moyo, who was born in 1961 and passed away this year, 2021. Now, famous for the statement he had to say on state broadcasters ZBC, Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, on the 15th of November 2017, signaling events which later unfolded and became Operation Restore Legacy. He was in attendance at the 2018 Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in London. That was the history of the late Spusiso Moyo. We now take a look at more on his history. Let's take a look.
Born on 4th March 1947 in Uzumba District, Mashonaland East Province, and was educated at Nyamuzue High School in Mutoko. The young Paradzai Zimondi could not complete his education as he, together with some youths from Highfield, sacrificed their studies and skipped the country to join the liberation struggle. The youthful Paradzai Willings Zimondi was among a group of young men who were motivated to join and participate in the liberation struggle due to the oppressive colonial regime. The late former Commissioner General crossed the border to Mozambique with other comrades and joined the Zanla forces. He underwent training at Mgagao training camp in Tanzania in 1974, on which after training he was posted to Chimoyo in Mozambique, where he assumed the position of trainer. He was then deployed to Gaza province before being reassigned to Manica province and appointed as the Field Operations Commander from 1977 up to ceasefire.
My Chimrenga name is Tondrai Nyika. Tondrai Nyika is to remember your country. And I was trained in Mgagao in 1974-75 and then became an instructor at Chimoyo for a short period, and then I was deployed into Manica province as the provincial commander. In short, it was the PFOC, Provincial Field Operational Commander of Manica province, and then I was appointed a member of the Zanda High Command as well in 1977.
We've just been learning the history of retired General Paradzai Zimondi. And there's something very interesting about his life story, that he actually belonged to a royal family. We'll take you through that when we do return. But right now we'll be going through to the National Shrine.
Honorable Acting President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, General Retired Dr. Constantino Gouveia Dominic Nyikadzino Chiwenga. Today, and for the first time in the history of this sacred shrine, we gather to bid farewell to three national heroes. The late Lieutenant General Retired Honorable Minister Dr. Sibusiso Busi Moyo, the late Honorable Minister Dr. Joel Matiza, and the late Major General Retired Paradzai Zimondi. To start our proceedings, Honorable Acting President, allow me to invite the Minister of Religion, Senior Chaplain General Nyakujga, to lead us in prayer.
Acting President, sir, allow me to read a scripture, expound on that scripture, and then I pray. Zuva ranhasi tine chiitiko chisati chamboitika mukati menyika yedu, kuuya panhandare ino nemitumbi inokwana mitatu, pane majenerali anokwana maviri. Zvinonditendereiwo ndiparidze mharidzo yakanangana nokuwanda kwevashaya, mharidzo yakanangana nemashoko andakakumbirwa imi acting president muripo se. Goro riye tabhururuka nendege kuenda kugokwe, imi muchiri CDF, echi vachiri Minister of Defense, General SB mwe vachiri Brigadier General. Manditi handei kugokwe musina kundiudza chikonzero chishanoitwa ikoko. Takuda kunomhara ndopambakati chenda unotaura na minister, ndopanotaura na echi vachiri minister, ndopavakazondiudza ndege ichimhara kuti tauya kuno kuzoviga chifu akati. Zvinewo uchaita basa rinoti nerinoti, vamwe vese vaiziva mission indanga ndisingazive. Ndokubva ndaparidza mharija ndichaparidza pano. Mushakabva akataura muripo akati kana wakuzoparidza mumwe musi ndafa kana kuti ndiripo usamhanye nyatsoibvisa nyaya iyi nokuti inokosha. Ndo zvandakuita kusamhanya nokuibvisa nyaya iri pano. Hebrews chapter 9 verse 27 inoti zvakatemerwa kumunhu kuti afe kamwe chete, kana afa kamwe chete kutongeswa kwogotevera. Zvakatemerwa kumunhu iwe neni kuti afe kamwe chete kutongeswa kwogotevera. Ndobvunza ndichitini zvakatemwa rini? Kareyo Mwari vasika zvinhu zvose panyika pano, mukadzi tutu, mombe nemukadzi wayo, garwe nemukadzi waro, skiza nemukadzi wayo, tsuro nemukadzi wayo, jongwe nesheshe. Munhu akabvaonekwa kuti haari ngori ega, haana wokutaura naye, haana kufamba naye, Mwari ndopo wakafuka zano rokugadzira mubetseri akakwanira kumunhu. Ndobva ye Mwari chiremba mukuru avadisa hope yekutanga pamunhu wokutanga. Munhu avata Mwari ndobva vaita operation kachiremba mukuru. Ndokupinda nemunhu mutheater yavo ndobva vaita operation. Vaita operation ndobva vatora rumbavu ndobva vagadzira mukadzi. Munhu aona pamuka kuhope ndobva aona parutivi pake pane munhu chinhu chiripo. Akabva ati uri chinonzi chii, ndokubva ashaya zita. Dai vamwe varomazano vaite paragraph of human perfection. Asi akati uyu achanzi pfupa remapfupa angu, achanzi mukadzi nokuti wabviswa kumurume. Mwari akapa munhu nemukadzi wake mitemo yekurarama, ndokubva vakurarama havo. Mwari ndobva audza pamusoro pemuti usiri something special pauri, asi kutesta obedience yavo. Kanzi zviro kwazvo musadye. Iye munhu ndobva atamba nezvisingatambwe nazvo, ndokubva adzima moto neparafini. Mukadzi ndokubva apfurwa nenyoka huru yakare, akabva atora fruit imwe chete ndokubva aruma ndobva arangarira tsumo yemashona yekuti chaona idya nama mutarwana hanganwa. Ndobva akamhanya kuti oh darling tambira. Murume akabva ati maite henyu mampofu, maite henyu masibanda, maite henyu mn'uve, auchira kunze kwokuti arambe. Vapedza kushama ndopakanzi vaona kuti havana kushama, ndopa vakanohwanda pamberi paMwari, ndopakatanga dressmaking ipapo. Vakusona, vane clothing factory yavo yokusona mashizha, maybe stitch yavaita idhunge kana kuti running. Vakaona kuti mashizha anooma. Vadaro Mwari ndopa akauya ndokubva abvunza munhu kuti asi wadya asi muchero wandikakurambidza setsika yevanhu. Ndokubva ambobvunza tsika anzi mudzimai. Mukadzi ndobva abvunzwa haana kubvuma, akabva ati nyoka. Ndopakabva patemwa naMwari kuti munhu achadzokera kuguruva, munhu achafa. That's why nhasi tiri pachikomo pano. Kufa hazvinei kuti wafa nei, ingave covid, ingave tsaona, ingave pfuti, chinoshorwa chete kuzviuraya. Asi kana kuri kufa kwakangofanana, kufa. Ndopazvakatemwa naMwari kuti munhu afe kamwe chete, kutongeswa kwokutevera. Ko iye munhu anotongerweiko? Mwari haarisizi Mwari risina tsitsi rinongobata vanhu richitonga, richibata vanhu richitonga. Pane zvinotongerwa munhu pamatare pano panyika, naMwariwo kunyange vachitonga vanhu pane zvavanovatongera. Pane murume akamiswa naMwari anonzi Jesu, anofanira kugamuchirwa nevarume nevakadzi. Saka mhosva huru ichatongerwa varume nevakadzi vari kundinzwa pano ndeyekuti pane murume anoitwa Jesu, vanhu vari kuita zvivindi zvekumuramba, kumugamuchira. Ini ndane 35 years ndiri kudefense forces, nekuti veko vakachenjera, vakaziva kuti kune moto uriko, kune denga ririko. Kudenga hakuendwe nediscipline, vanoita emphasize discipline variko. Asi ini ndakaonekwa ndichikomanda, ndinosungwa, handibvumirwe kukomanda. Changu chandinomukira kubasa nokunobatirwa kunzi wanonoka kuenda kubasa ndechekuti ndanonoka kuenda kumasoja kunovataura kuti varume gadzirai mugamuchire Jesu. Kana magamuchira Jesu maresigna kubva mumhomho inongonzi vanhu vaMwari, makunzi vana vaMwari. Kuve mwana waMwari hakuwanikwe nemhaka kuti waberekwa mumba mamufundisi, kana kuti baba wako mufundisi, kana kuti unozama scripture akawanda. Kuve mwana waMwari kungovhura mwoyo wako, zviri very easy. kujusa ekoneti kunotonetsa kuti star 133 oti manhamba anokwana 19 this and that ozoti star hash call zvakatoma. Kugamuchira Jesu zviri nyore, kungovhura mwoyo wako. Regedzai ndiite justice varume nevakadzi kuti pay masters ndibhadhara mushe next month. Ndichikuudzai zvaanondibhadharira kuti ndikuudzei kuti varume nevakadzi ava vaenda vapedza pavo. Asara ndiwe mangwana ndiwe uri kuteera. Pamwe mangwana pamwe this is the last message I don't know because I'm not assured of my tomorrow. But regedzai ndikutaurei ndichiti pane murume akamiswa anonzi Jesu varume nevakadzi anofanira kugamuchirwa. Kunyange wamugamuchira wamwana waMwari ndio unozonzi kana wazofa onzipinda pamufaro wako. Kedzai ndipedze ndichiri General SB Moyo vakanditaurira rimwe gore muramu wavo ashaya vakati mwanangu the Lord has spoken. Ndikati what do you mean baba? Hanza mainini wako vashaya agadha amayewo ndobva vazoshaika ndobva vandichaira foni vakati mwanangu the Lord has spoken but this time he has spoken close to my ear. Ndikati what has happened and my mother has passed away. Ndopa vakazonditi vamborwara vakapona. Kanzi mwanangu apapa ndaifunga kuti ndichapfuura asi ndasesekedzwa. Kunyange Mwari akazotaura ndambopuwa mukana wokurarama. Zvino kana ndazofa udza vanhu kuti vasati SB afa vanoti the Lord has spoken and ndinenge ndadaira. The Lord is going to speak and you are going to respond. Mweya wako unoenda kupi? Kumoto here kana kuupenyu usingaperi? Tenamati. Baba unaisha wangu toda kunamatai nokutenda pazora nhasi. Nokuti matipa mukana okugutigwa kurongedza hama dzedu. Kunyange mwoyo yedu yatsemurwa pamwoyo pedu paiswa mavanga. Asi hatingakutukei, hatingakumhurei, hatingakutongesei. Nokuti ndimakapa mhuri yekwa Moyo, mhuri yekwa Zimondi, nemhuri yekwa Matiza. Vakanga ari murume, akanga ari mudzimai, akanga ari mwana, akanga ari sekuru, akanga ari chii, vakabatira nyika yekwedu. Taingokubira mwoyo wenyu munyaradzi, wamukati handingakusei muri moga. Kuti uye bate mhuri mbiri idzi nenyika yose yeZimbabwe, kubva kuna commander in chief. Nevanga rakakura kudai. Imi Mwari munogona kuribata nokurinyaradza. Mumwe nemumwe achadzokera achiparadzika achienda kutendere kwake, asi mhuri idzi kudzimba kwavo muchangeni navo. Vekwa Moyo vasipana, vekwa Matiza vasipana, vekwa Zimondi vasipana. Vari pedyo nevari kunze kwenyika. Vose vari kunzwa mharidzo iyi. Imi Jehovha mupenyu, vanyaradzei, vanyaradzei. Nokuti munogona kuzviita, hamugoni kuti limited nedistance. Takuna matairi maproceedings ose achazouya na acting president mashoko vachauya nawo kwatiri. Ngare vechiro mukati muupenyu medu tigone kutana shisha ratingagone kuverenga nokurava tigobatawo nokukopa zvakanaka. Takuna matai muzita renyu Baba noremwanakomana noremweya mutsvene tose titi amen.
Zino diwane, Pamsoro pezu awandichini ndichienda sakandoda irozi dziuye zindi kamuchire pedyo nemimwari pedyo nemi yemeni ale
To first invite Sikanyiso Moyo, the Moyo family representative.
The Honorable Acting President Comrade Chiwenga, the Matanda and the Moyo families present here, all protocol observed. It is with great sorrow and grief that we are gathered to pay our last respect to a son, husband, father, brother, uncle, and a Mupambo, the late retired Lieutenant General Dr. Sibusiso Moyo. He is survived by his wife, 5 children, and 2 grandchildren. He is commonly known in the family country and internationally as SB Moyo, and has gone too soon, leaving a great rift which will be difficult to fill. Nonetheless, we are very grateful to God for the time we had with our beloved brother and take pleasure in celebrating a life well lived and full of great achievements. When we remember him, we associate him with wisdom, knowledge, bravery, gentle meekness, crowned with a principled firmness, which made him a people person who was successful in unlocking iron doors and bringing so many victories home. The bravery of SB Moyo was evident from childhood. Our father narrates a story that at one time during SB Moyo's grade 7 studies, he had a discussion with him about one maths teacher who was a strict disciplinarian, resulting in most students dropping the maths subject
and some of them transferring to other schools around. And when Baba asked him how he was faring, as Bimo said, kuno kumets kwangu sara isube zvivindi. Dr. S.B. Moyo was an exceptional son, brother, father who mixed well with everyone. He was a great unifier, selfless mentor, a family breadwinner with a strong sense of fairness, justice, respect, dignity, and full of integrity. He was very accommodative, always had jokes, and a laid-back personality. To his wife, he was a good husband, not threatened by his partner's achievements, but always encouraged her to do better. To his children, he was firm when principles were crossed, except when you were Simba, who is the last born. Our brother was a fighter. He never gave up on life and never showed pain or fear, even when he was sick. He instilled values of hard work and dignity, and demonstrated by his works. Dr. S.B. Moyo was born on the 20th of November 1961 at Umnene Hospital in Berengwa. He comes from a Christian background. He is the third born in a family of 8. He was the third born in a family of 8. He started his primary studies in 1968 at Mashingo Primary School in Mberengwa. In 1975, he proceeded to secondary studies at Manama Boarding School in Gwanda District. His studies were interrupted in 1977 when he was in Form 3. And also Baba's dreams of seeing his son become a medical doctor were shattered. As S.B. Moyo, along with other classmates, left to join the liberation struggle. However, given his fundamental understanding and passion for education, he continued with his studies on his return until he achieved a doctorate degree in international relations from the University of Zimbabwe. Even today, Dr. S.B. Moyo's passion for education has been imparted to the whole family, which is now full of studious individuals, as everyone was encouraged to pursue continuous professional development. Before assuming office of Senator from Berengwa and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, he asked the clergy to pray and bless him. The Mberengwa and the Honde Valley community, the nation at large, greatly mourned the departure of a true cadre who had become a pillar of hope for their transformation and development. Within his 3 years in office, he pioneered and achieved several impact projects covering road infrastructure, health, facilities, water sanitation, social welfare, youth and education empowerment. Rufu ndima dzongonyedze zveshuwa. Rufu watibira tiri kuchema. I would like to thank you all here and wherever you are for mourning with us. This is a very difficult time for us. To Mrs. Moyo, Lois Matanda Moyo, I would like to salute her for standing by my brother during his times of sickness until death. She never turned down. She was always by him up to the time of death. Machuma chokwadi murudzimai akapanda murume wake. In conclusion, allow me to extend our gratitude to His Excellency, President E.D. Mnangagwa and his administration and the party ZANU-PF for conferring the national hero status on my brother. We say, you have honored us. Matiza. Muningina, surora murugari, mufambe zvakanaka murozvi, mvuma varanda, dewa, muri tichasara tichichengeta. Mwari ngave newe. I thank you. Siyabonga tinotenda.
Zasukale makaya sakonde mazweni satoli zikali sabuyele makaya sashayingwa kwawo ega sesijabula zasukale makaya makaya yemazweni satoli zikali sabuyele makaya sashayingwa kwawo ega namhlanje yeZimbabwe kwakhalisi phamo kwathuthi mikhonto walilingane washona maqhawe sayithathi Zimbabwe awuthina sikhumbula hayi maqhawe asishiya ngendaba selizwe mama ngendaba selizwe mama ngendaba selizwe esa ngendaba selizwe mama ngendaba selizwe tight ngendaba selizwe mama ngendaba selizwe Asia 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 ngendaba selizwe mama ngendaba selizwe ngendaba selizwe mama ngendaba selizwe Asia ngendaba selizwe mama ngendaba selizwe Asia ngendaba selizwe mama ngendaba selizwe ngendaba selizwe mama ngendaba selizwe halelela ngendaba selizwe amaqhawe ngendaba selizwe halelela ngendaba selizwe amaqhawe ngendaba selizwe halelela ngendaba selizwe amaqhawe ngendaba selizwe ngendaba selizwe mama ngendaba selizwe ngendaba selizwe mama ngendaba selizwe halele ngendaba selizwe amaqhawe ngendaba selizwe halele ngendaba selizwe amaqhawe ngendaba selizwe halele ngendaba selizwe amaqhawe ngendaba selizwe ngendaba selizwe ngendaba selizwe ngendaba selizwe mama ngendaba selizwe ngendaba selizwe mama ngendaba selizwe echimoya ngendaba selizwe mlungushi ngendaba selizwe khonangala ngendaba selizwe khona ngendaba selizwe ngendaba selizwe mama ngendaba selizwe ngendaba selizwe mama ngendaba selizwe usibo
The acting president of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Dr. Constantino Chiwenga, the chairman, the national chairman of the ruling party ZANU-PF, Honorable Minister of Defense Mai Opamchinguri, all ministers and VIPs here present, all the Matiza, Mangwende, Chitima families here present,
nemagamba ose akarara pano paHeroes Eka. All protocols observed. My name is Lakmo Chitima. I'm Dr. J.B. Matiza Sekuru from the Chitima family, where his mother, Tete Joyce, comes from, who sadly passed away a month ago as well. She was a blood sister to my father, Shadrach Chitima, who also passed away a few years ago. My mother, Alice Chitima, whom you may all be familiar with from Chipinge. She was a member of the Central Committee for an extended period. I'm sure you all remember her, Acting Vice President, Dr. Constantino Chiwenga. I come here as a representative for both the Matiza and Chitima families. Dr. J.B. Matiza and I grew up very closely together. Frankly, it was very hard to tell whether we were brothers, friends, cousins, during our young lives up to this day. However, before I proceed, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Presidium, the party, and government, in particular, His Excellency the President, Honorable Emerson Mnangagwa, for affording my dear Mzukuru Dr. J.B. Matiza the highest honor in the land, a hero status. This is the highest honor ever bestowed on any one member of our families to date. This gesture marks an unforgettable occasion in our entire lives. For that, we thank the President and his team from the depth of our hearts for this first-in-class honor. Siyabonga. I also wish to offer my deepest condolences to the others being laid here today as well. It is a time that we don't want to remember, but sadly, one we cannot forget. Dr. J.B. Matiza's passing on comes as a big blow to our entire clan of the Nyajina chieftaincy, Matizas, Mangwende, and the Chitimas. As perhaps most family members know, Dr. J.B. Matiza was a good man. He was a good man. He was a good father. He was a good businessman. He was a good politician. He was a good minister. He was a good leader. For me, one of the best Mzukurus I have ever had, a good educator, a good sportsman, and most importantly, today, one of a very good Christian. I'm happy that during his last days, he followed the right route. He became a Christian. As a father, his primary focus was on the well-being of his family. Muzukuru Lili and his wife, who is sitting over there. Batsirai, Batana, and Josh, his 3 children. He extended his responsibilities to the entire family of his sisters, brothers, cousins, parents, and the entire Moyo community at large. JB loved his parents beyond imagination. He supported them with everything possible under the sun. Tete Joyce and Muzukuru Bigi, his father, were so proud of their son to the extent that it inspired neighbors and friends. Isubana Sekuru Vake, Veko Mangwende, were very proud of him too. JB had huge successes in education. He graduated with a degree in architecture. He had a Master of Science in strategic management. And lately, just probably 4 or 5 weeks ago, he achieved the doctorate in leadership. And the first thing he did was to come to his Sekuru, and we're very, very happy to learn about that. For his family, Basirai, the elder son, now holds 2 degrees at such a tender age, a Bachelor of Science in Finance, another Bachelor of Science degree in Economics, with minors in International Business Mathematics, respectively. Basirai graduated with honors from Penn University in the United States of America. I have no doubt that he will do his doctorate very soon, just like his father. Batanai, the second son, is currently in his second year at university in London. He chose to follow his father's footsteps, architecture. A very calm, collected, and focused young man, Batanai is. I have no doubt in my mind that he will take over from his father, from where his father left, and expand the business. Joshua, the last born, the most intelligent and active of them all. He's doing very well. He's in grade 5 as we speak. He was a good businessman. My cousin and family hold huge interest in hospitality industry, real estate, retail, and architectural disciplines. Quiet, soft-spoken, but focused. Dr. JB has left a great legacy, but most importantly, goodwill. He built this business for his family. When he came back from war, he worked briefly for an international architectural firm before joining government and finally going to business on his own. His first business was an architectural outfit that today boasts of huge local and international projects run by local and external experts based right here in Harare. His team has designed several office buildings, hotels, airports, dry ports, and such things. His motto was very simple: production, production, production. Focus on production. Measure your output on a daily basis. Appraise yourself. Very effective leadership and motivation. A good politician and leader he was. Entered politics right from school. He's one of the few people that I know that held a member of parliament position for 25 years without a break. I'm proud to say that I was one of his key supporters when he started campaigning in Moyo a while back. Saka acting president, isuthi nebhara richiko nanasi nemzukuru wangu. Within short space of time, things looked up there when he joined the Ministry of Transport. I think we are all aware of the developments he made, or he did, when he came up with a model to use local entities, local funds, to build key highways. And I think we've got a big highway that's between Harare and Shulun that's happening today. He executed those projects timelessly and with precision. A good Muzukuru. My cousin not only respected everyone, he supported all his family members from all corners of our clan. He was approachable, Angas Ngadadi. He had a scholarship program that saw most family members get educated from primary to university education, both in country and abroad. He was the first at sponsoring the five-a-side football concept in Zimbabwe, single-handedly. A great sportsman and unified this gentleman was. He forced me myself, to do my master's degrees and insisted that he would attend the classes with me if necessary. Because at that time, I completed the program and started my own business soon after. So there are three lessons that I think some of us can take away. That is to my family members and to all those that are listening today. Three life lessons that used to guide my Mzukuru and all his members, including myself. The first one is only mean people who are not happy with themselves are mean to others. Tunaona pa social media, tunaona wale wangu. Issue, I'll tell you, we will not rise to the bait. Our solution is we will continue to be as successful as we are. The second guide is we have two lives, and I think please listen to this one. Every human being has got two lives. The second life begins when you realize you only have one. Apa Mzukuru Lilian tunomtenda, that is my Mzukuru's wife. She managed to make my great cousin see the light. And he likewise kicked some of us into position. We then realized that life was actually very simple indeed. Just do the right things and everything will be fine. Now these words are from a poem that I would have loved to read today, but due to time constraints, I unfortunately will not be able to do justice to it. It's called My Soul Has a Heart by San Paolo, 1893 to 1945. Lastly, the biggest guide that made him where he got to today, and ourselves, was the Bible. The Bible is the only book that has stood the test of time. I'm here to see someone that does not believe in the Bible. And what he used to say was, Sekuru, if you are really tired and you don't know what you're doing, and this is to his children, to ourselves, I was very close to him, so I keep referring to myself, but this applies to everybody. He says, always follow the 10 commandments in the Bible religiously, and you will succeed. He always said Christians always succeed. They always win in the final analysis. Now, finally, to my Batsian family, stay strong, focused, and please remain under the divine leadership of our Lord. To Batsirai Mukuru, please promise us and your family today that you will never forget what your father taught you, and that you will protect your mother and siblings to the best of your abilities. You will remain and uphold the Christian values that your dad believed in. You will live in truth and honesty. I know you have the capacity, and of course, help is available from Vazukuru vangu vanazviko, vanatendai Shila, Zivai, Batanai, isu vanasekuru vako, tinenge tiripo. Please step up to your position as leader of the family right now, today. To my cousin, Dr. J.B. Matiza, You are a good man, a very good man. As all good and great men do. You fought a good fight, Mzukuru. We'll miss you dearly. May your soul rest in peace. Ambakati Mzukuru. Thank you.
Zizi zako zamulopa nuose ngaziuya Jehova ngaziuya kandiri mambo ngaziuya kwanda kumbira rega kundisia baba kana ndiri mutazi ndiro Papa Moyo, asiuya kwandiki wamba, asiuya kwandiki asiuya kwanda kumbira uya bano mupone singa, ndichangetwe newe inikana, na uchindisheleza ndichauya kwa Jehova ndichauya kwa Murize ndichauya kwa Tamirira mweya muchene wa baba chireka kakundipfura inenganiwa ndiribofu taura Jehova taura
Honorable Acting President, allow me to call upon Elvis T. Zimondi, the Zimondi family representative, to address the mourners.
Pamusoro wa president wedu wa Republic of Zimbabwe wa idi Mnangagwa pamusoro wa acting president wedu wa kuno yezvino his honorable wa Chiwengwa ini sezomanzwa kuti ndinonzi Tapuwei Elvis Michael Zimondi ndiri baba mudiki waiye atiri kuti nhasi muchakabvu retired Major General PW Zimondi. Ndinofara zvikuru kuti nditaure nerurimi rwamai vangu kuti munyatsondidzisawo zvandinoda kutaura kune vamwe vasingazvizvise. Ndinoda kuti ndikuzivisei kuti mwana uyu Paradzai Willing Zimondi akazvarwa musi wa4 March mugore ra 1947 kwa Makosa Clinic kwa Mutoko, asi kumusha kwake kuZumba mudunhu remu-UMP. Baba wake vanova iye zvino wamuchakabvu pamwe chete namai vake. Baba wake wainzi Charles Zimondi, amai vake Abigail Karumazondo vanga vari kwa Mutoko. Sezomanzwa kuti akazvarwa kwa Mutoko, mwana wokutanga ndiye angari mwana wokutanga mumhuri yevana vanomwe, vakomana vana, vasikana 3. Zvakadarozve pachivanhu chedu isu tinoti kana mwana ari wokutanga anoenda kwatinoti kuhware kumusha kwake ndokwaanoberekerwa mwana mutanga, kumusha kwomukadzi ndosaka akaberekerwa ikoko. Aberekwa akura, Paradzai akaenda kuchikoro sezvinongoitawo vazhinji. Akatanga kudzidza kwamakosa kwasekuru wake, akadzidza zvekare kuMvuma primary school, akadzidza kwamanyika kunova ndiwo kumusha kwake kuZumba. Apedza primary, chikoro chake cheprimary akaenda kunodzidza kwaNyamuzuwe mission, uko kwakaita secondary education yake. Panguva yese yanga achidzidza, mufunge kubva ari mwana mudiki kusvika kusekendari, anga ari mwana akatendeseka, mwana aitumika, mwana airereka, mwana akanga asina pfungwa dzekuita mhirizhonga nevamwe vana kana nevamwe vanhu. Mwana aidadisa, ukamutuma zvamutuma, akanga asingade kubvunza kuti manditumire kana maregere kutuma nhengi. Anga ari mwana aiita basa nemazvo. Paradzai uyu akazoendawo kunotsvaga mabasa panguva yainzi kunonzi kuHarare, iye zvinoita kuti kuHarare kwainzi kuSalisbury nguva iyoyo. Akanosenzawo assistant research kusociology yekuuniversity yeRhodesia nguva iyoyo. Akazobva ipapo akaenda kunosenza kwaKebs. Abva ikoko kwaKebs akanoshandawo zvekare kwakuwadzana sales rep. Aishanda zvakanaka nguva yese iyoyi. Hapana zvinotidadisa ndezvokuti hapana patikambonzwa kuti asungwa nomusikanzwa kana kuti kudii. Aiwa mwana akatendeseka. Taidada nazvo izvozvo. Paradzai akazoenda kunorwira nyika mugore ra1974 achisiya mwana aine 7 months musikana ainzi Hilda. Akaendako akazodzoka kwaane rusununguko. Takagara naye takamufarira zvikuru adzoka. Munoziva hama dzedu zhinji hadzina kudzoka nekuda kwezvaitika nguva iyoyo, asi mwana wedu nokuda kwaMwari akadzoka. Taifunga kuti paadzoka achava mwana ano mumwe mufungiro, asi takamuona ari mwana asina kuchinja unhu hwake. Takatoona kuti unhu hwake hwakanga hwavandudzwa nokwakanga ari. Akanga ane rudo zvikuru nemhuri yekwake, wedzinza rekwake, nemhuri yose yemunharaunda make. Izvi ndinoda kuti ndizvitaure nezviitiko zvaakatiitira adzoka. Mwana uyu baba wake namai vake hongu vaida chechi zvikuru, vainamata muchechi yeUnited Methodist. Iye ainamatawo zvake, asi akati watanga kutiwakira inonzi Kazi United Methodist Church. Kwachidodo kuti Kazi mazita aakaita in memory yavabereki wake inzi Charles Abigail Zimondi United Methodist Church. Umwari hwaakanga ainawo. Apedza izvozvo haana kungoperera ipapo kuti vanhu ngavazive Mwari. Akada zvekare achiona matambudziko aiitwa mumhuri nenharaunda. Vamwe vaiberekera vana munzira nokuda kwekuti kwakanga kuri kure kwaiendwa kwacho kuti vanobatsirwa. Vanoona vana mazvikokota vanoziva nezvekubatsira vanhu vanenge vane pamuviri. Asi akatiwakira kiriniki iyo yakazovhurwa naiye zvino wava president wedu, wangu achiri vice president waED Munangagwa. Ndo akaivhura chidhenge kiriniki iyoyo inonzi Hombiro Clinic iko kwaChidodo zvekare ikoko. Mhuri dzose dzokwaChidodo dziri kufara nenharaunda yose iri kufara nemabasa akaita sewa. Handiwo mabasa chete aiita, aienda kunobatsira zvekare nherera kuendesa kuzvikoro. Iko zvinezvi kunotori mumwe mwana wavari kubatsira anga achifanda atoku university
rudo rwakadii, umwari hwakadii hwaitwa nemwana wedu uyu. Tinoda kuzvitenda zvikuru mabasa aita iwayaya. Iye iko zvino nokufa kwaaita asiya vana vaviri, mukomana nemusikana. Mukomana Rufaro, musikana anonzi Abigail akapiwa zita ramai wake, rimwe richinzi Upenyu, nevazukuru vanomwe. Ndisati ngada kutaura zvizhinji, ndinoda kuti nematambudziko kune vamwe vedu vari pano, mhuri yokwasibusiso Moyo nemhuri yokwaJoel Big Matiza, ndinoti tine urombo tarasikirwa nemagamba edu akachitibatsira mumhuri nenyika yose. Ndoda kuti nematambudziko. Ndinoda kuzvekare kuti nditende hurumende yedu ZANU-PF pamwe napresident wedu wenyika ino Republic of Zimbabwe waID Mnangagwa nokupa ruremekedzo rwegamba kumwana wedu. Mufunge kutanga kusvika pano takasingapazivisi ruremekedzo rukuru kwazvo. Takamboda tiri kumba kuti dai taendesa kuno anorara pana mai wake, asi takazoona zvakakodzera kuti zvataitirwa kurangarirwa nenyika yese kupiwa mwana wedu kuti achisiri mwana wenyu, mwana weZimbabwe, ngawigwe pano vamwe wake wakashanda nawo. Ndinoda kuzvitenda zvikuru chivanhu chedu tinoombera. Tinokutendai nemabasa amakatiitira nekutiremekedza kwamatiitira isiso kaZimondi. Tikunzwa kufara zvikuru. Handidi kupedza nguva ndichitaura. Ndinoti naiwawo ndatenda.
Ndotanalo uJesu, hliziyo yami idabukile, umoya wami ucela usisi. Hliziyo yami idabukile, umoya wami uJesu. Abanye bethu sebezintandane, abanye ngabafelwakazi. Ndotanalo uJesu. Katavita namhlanje zungikhawukele, yasho njalo impumputhe zokuzadlula uJesu. Babekhona babemkhuza besithi makathule, ephayena wamemeza wosamizungikhawukele. Ndotana Davida usaba fileyo ekamalayo inkosi. Zelekene zono zami, zelekene zono zami, zelekeni zono zami. Ndotana uJesu. Bambambo Jesu ngelacala, bamisa phambi kwamakhosi. Bethi makabulawe, ebulawe ngelacala. Ndotanalo uJesu. Davida usaba fileyo ekamalayo inkosi. Ndotana amen uJesu.
The Honorable Acting President, General Retired Dr. Constantino Gouveia Dominic Nyikadzino Chiwenga, Honorable Vice President Comrade Campbell Dugish Mohadi in absentia, the National Chairperson of the ruling party ZANU-PF and Minister of Defense and War Veterans Affairs, Comrade Opam Chinguri Kashiri, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Advocate Jacob Mudenda in absentia, the President of the Senate, Honorable Mabel Memory Chinomona in absentia, the Chief Justice, Honorable Luke Malaba, Honorable Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution in the Harare Metropolitan Province, Senator Engineer Oliver Chidau in absentia, other cabinet ministers and members of the Politburo, members of the Diplomatic Corps, our service chiefs, veterans of the liberation struggle, bereaved members of the Moyo, Matiza, and Zimondi families, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends. We are gathered here once again to mourn dedicated, patriotic, hardworking, brave, committed, and reliable cadres, Sibusiso Busimoyo, Joel Bigimatiza, and Paradzai Willing Zimondi, who were all liberation war fighters and development champions of modern-day Zimbabwe. It is my privilege and honor to call upon the Honorable Acting President of the Republic of Zimbabwe to address the mourners. Honorable Acting President, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Ah, 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 la, la, la. Ah, 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 la, la, la. Ah, 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 la, 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 la.
The bereaved Moyo family, the bereaved Matiza family, the bereaved Zimondi family. Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Colonel Retired KCD Mohadi in absentia, the National Chairman of the ruling party ZANU-PF and Minister of Defense and War Veterans Affairs, Honorable Opa Chamuzipange Mchinguri Kashiri. Speaker of the National Assembly, Advocate Jacob Mudenda, President of the Senate, Amai Mabo Chinomona, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Luke Malaba, Honorable Minister of State for Harare Metropolitan Province, Engineer Oliver Chidau, in absentia, Honorable Ministers, members of the Politburo of the ruling ZANU-PF, Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, senior government officials, let me recognize the Chief Secretary to the President and Cabinet, Dr. Mishek Sibanda. Commander, Defense Forces, General Philip Valerio Sibanda, Service Chiefs, War Veterans, ex-detainees, restrictees, and war collaborators, our traditional chiefs, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends. Today marks a tragic day for our country, Zimbabwe. But unique in the sense that we are witnessing a triple heroes burial ceremony following the death of our dearly departed cadres of the second Chimurenga, namely the late retired Lieutenant General Dr. Sibusiso Busi Moyo, our late Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Architect Dr. Joel Matiza, late Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development, and former Commissioner General of Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Services, Major General retired Willis Paradzai Tonderai Nyika Zimondi. Sadly, we have lost them to the dreaded invisible enemy, the COVID-19 pandemic, which is wreaking havoc in the region and the world over. Hence, this ceremony is being held under strict World Health Organization WHO guidelines, resulting in the limited number of mourners here today. The family representatives of these three gallant sons of the soil before us have each taken turns to chronicle the life history of each of them, leaving us without any doubts about the enormous contributions which the trio in their individual capacities made from the period of the liberation struggle for our independence and post-independence, which I will also in a moment summarize for the nation to appreciate. But before I do so, allow me on behalf of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, Comrade Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, the ruling party ZANU-PF, government, and on my behalf, to express my pain and sincere condolences to each of the bereaved families, namely the Moyo family, vana Bvuma Varanda, Tine Urombo, the Matiza family, and the Zimondi family, vana Tembo Mbizi, upon the untimely deaths of their beloved sons. May I say to them, your great losses are our losses too. For your great sons were no longer yours alone, but ours together. Dear mourners, the COVID-19 pandemic that has ravaged the entire world has not spared the Republic of Zimbabwe. The country has witnessed in the past 3 or so weeks a surge in the new COVID-19 variant, which has claimed the lives of many of our citizenry, including the lives of 3 national heroes we are laying to rest today at this national shrine. We were here a few days ago to lay to rest fellow comrades Morton Marianga and Dr. Eren Gwaradzimba. One would expect that when tragedy strikes, it would gradually abate. This has not been the case with the COVID-19 pandemic, as it is still fiercely with us, and only God knows the day that it will end. Fellow countrymen and women, this is the scourge that claimed the lives of our gallant comrades, Honorable Lieutenant General retired Dr. Sibusiso Busi Moyo, Honorable Dr. Architect Joel Matiza, and former Commissioner General Major General retired Willis Paradzai Zimondi. The common phenomenon about these 3 is, most importantly, that they participated immensely in the liberation struggle, a war that was waged to dislodge a Rhodesian regime that had dispossessed the indigent Zimbabweans of their major birthright, the land. Secondly, the 3 comrades worked very hard to improve the lives of the people post-independence in a peaceful environment. The late Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Lieutenant General retired Dr. S.B. Moyo, who passed on in the morning of 20 January 2021 at Arundel Medical Center, was born on 20 November 1961 in Berengwa District, Midlands Province. At a very young or a tender age of 15 years, when he was in Form 3 at Manama Secondary School, the late minister, together with 410 boys and girls, accompanied by their teachers, left Rhodesia in the company of Zipra combatants and crossed the border into Botswana on 27 January 1977 to seek training in order to fight the oppressive colonial Rhodesian regime. They later crossed into Zambia, where the late Honorable Minister received initial military training at CGT base, where the current Commander Zimbabwe Defense Forces, General Philip Valerius Banda, was the camp commandant. At independence in 1980, he was attested into the Zimbabwe National Army, where he rose through the ranks to become Major General in 2016. During his long and illustrious career in the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, the late general seized every opportunity to acquire the requisite military and academic qualifications that positioned him for higher and demanding portfolios. He was a joy to work with. When we started the journey to go back to school, he was the first part of the group that I started with, together with the other number of generals who are here with us. And I am, and I will keep on being proud of his determination to achieve whatever he wanted to achieve, whatever he would have set his eyes on, and what he would have determined that this is what he wants to achieve. He was instrumental in the transformation of the National Defense College to the National Defense University and championing food security initiatives through Operation Maguta Inala. From 2010 to 2014, the late Lieutenant General served as Director General Defense Economic Development Department, a department responsible for spearheading economic development in the defense forces, in line with the vision of creating a strong industrial base for the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. The late General retired Dr. S.B. Moyo held several important appointments in pursuit of regional and international peace and security. These included, among others, secondment to the United Nations mission in Somalia as Deputy Chief of Staff from 1994 to 1995. He was also instrumental in the planning of the second regional peacekeeping exercise, Blue Crane, which was held at Rohacha Training Camp, South Africa in 1997. History would be incomplete if the name Lieutenant General retired S.B. Moyo is not recorded prominently in the bringing in of the new dispensation. Most of us would remember him as the mouthpiece of Operation Restore Legacy. For his distinguished service with the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, the late Lieutenant General S.B. Moyo received the prestigious medals and awards including the Liberation Medal, Independence Medal, 10 years Service Medal, Long and Exemplary Service Medal, Mozambique Campaign Medal, UNISOM II United Nations Medal, Democratic Republic of Congo Campaign Medal, and the Grand Officer of the Zimbabwe Order of Merit Award. On retirement in 2017, the distinguished general joined central government, where he was appointed Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade. During his term in government, the late general worked tirelessly for the success of the engagement and re-engagement programs, meant to normalize relations with the international community. In the sphere of international trade and investment, The late minister was a torchbearer in pursuing the new dispensation's mantra of Zimbabwe is open for business through determined economic diplomacy. The late Lieutenant General retired Dr. S.B. Moyo will be painfully remembered as a distinguished commander, politician, and civil servant who was dedicated and committed to the emancipation and well-being of the people of Zimbabwe from all walks of life. Similarly, the late Dr. Architect Joel Matiza, whose Chimurenga name was Destroyer Njovu, was both a liberator and academician. The young Joel traded secondary education for military training to liberate his country. At a tender age in 1977, he left the country for Zambia through Botswana, together with other like-minded revolutionary youth of the Zimbabwe African People's Revolutionary Army, ZIPRA. In hindsight, it was a wise and patriotic decision which young Joel took when he was just a Form 3 student at Murewa High School. That decision has culminated in the big story that the family and all of us are telling today. When Joel went to Zambia, he ended up at Freedom Camp, just outside Lusaka, which as of 1975 was now being run by ZIPRA. Freedom Camp is dear to us as much as Chimoyo, Nyadzonya, Tembwe, and Doroi in Mozambique, because these were campsites where the Rhodesian forces committed atrocities against our freedom fighters, unarmed recruits, and refugees. In 1978, the young Comrade Destroyer Njovu was at Freedom Camp when the Rhodesians bombed it, killing over 400 Zimbabweans and injuring many others, including our late national hero. The late national hero sustained injuries which he never fully recovered. In post-independent Zimbabwe, the late Dr. Matiza held several demanding portfolios, including being Minister of State for Mashonaland East Province, Deputy Minister of National Housing and Social Amenities, Deputy Minister of Local Government, Public Works and National Housing, and Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development. As Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development, he conceived and conceptualized the modernization of road, rail, and air connectivity along the north-south corridor with Zimbabwe as the hub, which dovetailed with Vision 2030.
The late national hero also made a large input in the architectural designs of the new Parliament building in Mount Hamden and the Victoria Falls International Airport. As a passionate proponent of economic empowerment, Comrade Matiza was instrumental in promoting the construction of infrastructural projects by local companies. A case in point is the current construction of the Bad Bridge Masvingo Harare Chirundu Highway. The development not only capacitated the local companies, but also created numerous jobs and saved the country's scarce foreign currency resources. In the party, he was at the helm of Mashonaland East Province as the chairman of the ruling party ZANU-PF. He was championing social, economic, and political programs through the devolution agenda. His recent graduation on 15 December 2020 with a doctorate in business administration from the Binary University of Management and Entrepreneurship in Malaysia, in collaboration with the Chinhoyi University of Technology, was testimony of his insatiable quest for knowledge. Indeed, the nation has lost a loyal, hard-working, and committed minister whose unique achievements in the construction, transport, and infrastructural development sectors will forever be etched in our minds into posterity. Dear mourners, the late General Retired Willis Paradzai Zimondi, alias Comrade Tonderai Nyika, joined the liberation struggle as a cadre of the Zimbabwe African National Liberation Army ZANLA in 1974 and underwent military training at Mugagao in Tanzania. He was among the second group of cadres to be trained at Mugagao by the late Honorable Air Chief Marshal retired Parents Shiri, and of course myself, I was part of that training team. After completing training, he was chosen as an instructor. However, that appointment was short-lived as he was nominated to be part of the comrades who were deployed to open a new front in the Gaza province, that is the southern part of Zimbabwe today, which forms the Midlands province and Matabeleland South, for joint operations with the Zimbabwe People's Revolutionary Army, ZIPRA, under the banner of the Zimbabwe People's Army, ZIPA. From Gaza province, the late Major General retired Zimondi was deployed to Manica province, where he was appointed Field Provincial Operational Commander. I had the privilege to work under him as his provincial political commissar until we departed on my promotion to deputy political commissar of ZANLA. Comrade Tonderai Nyika, as we used to call each other, was a close friend and a fellow member of the ZANLA High Command. We were close and worked as commander and political commissar. And I remember the permanent secretary for Home Affairs. We were together under the command of Comrade Tonderai Nika. Due to his diligence and military strategic acumen, he was given operational tasks that made a great impact in turning around the tide of the liberation war effort against the Rhodesian colonial establishment. Apart from commanding Manica province, he was an artillery bastion who led the Zandra forces contingent that carried out the very first attack on Rhodesia's third largest city, Amtare, now Mtare, in 1978. He was indeed a great strategist and a shrewd commander. All of the comrades that he operated with in his provincial hierarchy survived the war. Among them are Colonel Richard Uchu, alias Flavian Danga, Colonel Mapungwana, Major General retired Gibson Mashingaidze, and those who have passed on are Comrade Tensen Store, Colonel Makoni, alias Temba, and the first political commissar, Comrade for Manica province, Comrade Chumkute. In post-independence Zimbabwe, Major General retired Zimondi had an illustrious service in the Zimbabwe National Army, where he served in various capacities, including Colonel General Staff in charge of Army operations, Commander 1 Infantry Brigade in Matabeleland, Chief of Defense Intelligence, and Commander Presidential Guards. The late Major General Willis Paradzai Zimondi received prestigious medals and awards for his distinguished service with the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, including the Liberation Medal, Independence Medal, 10 years Service Medal, Long and Exemplary Service Medal, Mozambique Campaign Medal, and the Grand Officer of the Zimbabwe Order of Merit. On retirement, as Major General, he was assigned to the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Services in 1997 and later became its commissioner and subsequently Commissioner General. Among other modernization strategies, he spearheaded the transformation of the correctional services to focus on transformation and rehabilitation of the offender. The late General retired Zimondi was a field commander, administrator par excellence. His contributions after the Liberation War was unparalleled. He was conscious that one of the major reasons of waging the Liberation War was the skewed land ownership perpetrated by the Rhodesians. He therefore participated fully in the land reform program. In this regard, over and above his life in the services, he became an acclaimed farmer who contributed immensely to Zimbabwe's efforts to attain food security and nutrition. In Major General retired Willis Paradzai Zimondi, Zimbabwe has lost a great son of the soil. The entire Zimondi family, relatives, and the nation should, however, derive solace in that the late Major General retired Zimondi worked tirelessly for his country. Fellow countrymen and women, as I conclude, I wish to once again extend the nation's sincere and deepest condolences to the Moyo, Matiza, and Zimondi families. Let me also take this opportunity to underscore that the departed gallant sons of the soil did not labor in vain. Theirs was an insatiable desire to see this country develop without leaving anyone behind. Even in death, they remain as inspirational as in their lives. They carved a special place in the exclusive club of immortals. They are our heroes among heroes. It is incumbent upon us all to ensure that we carry on with the odious journey towards national development and prosperity for our people. Yes, it is not a straw in the park. What is crucial at this stage is to share a collective identity as a people with a rich diversity, paying special attention to our beliefs, affiliations, and values. The time is up for that unit of diversity to be viewed as a strength and not as a weakness. COVID-19 has taught us an important lesson that we are all mortals. The fight against this pandemic does not allow for us to choose who to walk with, work with, or run with. It does not discriminate between the powerful and the weak, the privileged and the deprived, the haves and the have-nots. It is a ruthless juggernaut. That leaves a trail of despair and desperation. But we will eventually conquer. We will eventually conquer it and prevail as a people. Government is already in the process of acquiring the necessary vaccines for this pandemic. Let us continue to observe the laid down protocols as stipulated by the World Health Organization and our national laws. I wish to reiterate the need to always mask up, sanitize, and maintain social distance. These are the key imperatives in this fight against the pandemic and have no substitute. To the departed comrades, I say, may your dear souls rest in eternal peace. Go well, gallant sons of the soil. Fambai zvakanaka magamba edu. Ambani kashe, I thank you.
Introducing the COVID funeral plan from Doves. This policy covers death from COVID-19 or COVID-19 related funerals. The Doves COVID funeral plan is effective immediately with no waiting period. For more information, please contact 0731 772 784, 0731 772 782, WhatsApp 0731 750 989, email callcenter@doves.co.zw. Visit our website www.doves.co.zw or visit the Doves Holdings Facebook page. Doves, for the ones you love.
Mazizo wangu, mazizo Baba
Did you know that you can now get Dove's funeral cover from the comfort of your home? Simply visit our social media platforms, Facebook page, Doves Holdings. Visit our website, www.doves.co.zw. Email callcenter@doves.co.zw. So get your Dove's funeral cover from anywhere you are, with no hustles and no need to travel. Only with Doves. Doves, for the ones you love.
La la la. Ah, 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 la la la. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
May I therefore ask you, Honorable Acting President, those at the podium and everybody else here present, to stand up whilst our national heroes are being taken to the final resting places. We will remain standing and watch proceedings from where we are. Laying of wreaths at the gravesites will be done on behalf of His Excellency the President, the Honorable Acting President, and other dignitaries. May we rise.
As we are following the funeral proceedings that are being led by the acting president, General Retired Constantino Gouveia Dominic Nyikadzino Chiwenga. When the proceedings began, we were welcomed by Minister Kazimbe Kazimbe, who is the Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, who is also the Director of Ceremonies. He then handed over to the Minister of Religion, who is a Senior Chaplain General Nyakujga. We also got to hear from family representatives that spoke on behalf of the Moyo, Matiza and Zimondi families. Right. Then now we also got to hear from the acting president, who spoke fondly of the three late heroes and their immense contribution to our country, Zimbabwe, and its development, especially in their individual capacities as public servants as well as military personnel. He also touched on the scourge that is currently afflicting our country as well as internationally. That's the COVID-19 scourge that has taught us all, in his own words, that all of us are but mere mortals, and it doesn't discriminate whether you are privileged or deprived. He also urged Zimbabweans to be diligent in guarding their health. Now, as we did mention, that this broadcast is being brought to us by Doves Holdings, and we are being joined in studio right now by the Group Public Relations Manager, Mr. Innocent Chuma. Welcome to this particular broadcast. Thank you for joining us. Right. Now, as Doves, you have had a very long-standing relationship and partnership with government. If you could just elaborate a little bit more for the viewers at home, just to know, what brought about this partnership and why we have continued so far.
Thank you. We would like, as Doves, first of all, to give our condolences to the nation of Zimbabwe, losing 3 gallant sons, 3 heroes, in the likes of the retired General S.B. Moyo, late Minister of Transport, Biggie Matiza, and General Zimondi. Our condolences go to the nation of Zimbabwe and their families. Doves, because we're the biggest and oldest funeral service provider in the country from 1902, government saw it fit to partner with us to provide services stemming from our experience, 118 years experience. We've got the personnel, the tools, the nationwide network that nobody else can provide. Hence, we have the singular honor, especially today, where we have to bury 3 heroes. We have got the capacity to do that. In the past, we've done 3 double burials in 2016, 2017, and the last burial where it was 2 heroes. But this particular instance, it's 3. So the government has seen it fit to use Doves as the capacity is there to provide services at that level, to give a dignified yet befitting send-off to heroes, sons and daughters of Zimbabwe who are deserving of such status. Yes.
Now, as most citizens here in Zimbabwe, one of the main concerns that we are having is that, in regards to COVID-19, burial rights, addressing some of these concerns, as Doves, what are you offering in terms of security of the people, safety, and some of the challenges that COVID-19 has brought up upon the funeral services sector?
So one of the issues really is as an industry, how prepared were we? So we took it upon ourselves right at the beginning to start meticulously planning for certain scenarios, to say if the COVID-19 reaches a certain level, this is the plan of action that Doves will take. Scenario B, scenario C, scenario D. So we had various plans. We have various plans in place that should the COVID escalate to a certain level, we then step in with the required resources, the required training needed to give services. So there has been a rise in COVID cases, but we have got the capacity to manage at this particular stage and subsequent stages. It's a lot of planning, it's meticulous, of course following the guidelines set by the World Health Organization and our Ministry of Health. So we work very closely with them, and we ensure that the standards, so we can assure the citizenry of Zimbabwe that the services that we give them during COVID are world-class standards, World Health Organization standards, procedures and protocols are stringently followed. And innovation as well. We're the first funeral services provider to bring in fog machines to spray, to fumigate all our premises, all our tools that we use, our hearses, our lowering machines, all those. We now use very latest fog machines that we've brought into the country. We also want to use them for, when we pick up deceased people from the homes. All our clients need to do is call us, and we'll provide that service. That service is not only open for us and our premises, but for our clients, because one of the issues really is about stopping infections.
Yes.
So we need to come in there once we've collected the deceased and ensure that the whole house is fumigated, the whole premise is fumigated. So companies, individuals can call us and we'll provide that services, because we are trained and we continually training our personnel to be on top of our game.
Fantastic. Now, obviously, when we're just watching the proceedings as they were unfolding at the National Shrine, we noticed that there's two sets of personnel who are in different attire. There's those who are wearing the blue and those wearing the white. Are those all doves or military personnel? Because we know that when it's a national hero being buried, normally it's the military personnel who assist with the carrying of the caskets. But in this particular instance, we're not too sure. Maybe if you can clarify, maybe that's one of your services as well.
In normal circumstances, pallbearers for national heroes would be members of the armed services. But in this particular instance, it's following again, and I want to reiterate, World Health Organization protocols and guidelines. In conjunction with the Ministry of Health, we have to use skilled, trained people to be pallbearers. So it is DOVE's personnel who are doing that particular duty at this time for the country. Yes.
What other services are you currently offering for the people in Zimbabwe, and maybe for the diasporans if there's any?
So what we've done is, yes, we've got all the tools to sanitize, to fumigate our premises, because we're now doing it in-house. And when you come to our premise, you are guaranteed, almost guaranteed, because with COVID you can never really 100% guaranteed, but to the 90s percentage, we can guarantee that state of safety. However, we are saying to Zimbabweans, we don't want people coming to our premises unless it's absolutely necessary. So payments of premiums, getting a policy, all those sort of things, you want to just check on your policy to see what it's like, let's do that online. Do that from the comfort of your homes. Use our online platforms, WhatsApp, Facebook, our website, www.doves.co.zw. Get in touch with us right now. Our call center is there waiting to attend to Zimbabweans. So we don't want people traveling unnecessarily. Unless there's a bereavement, you then have to come to our premises. But any other services that Doves has, please stay at home and we will attend to you. And you can get a policy. We've just come up with an innovative product that we're calling COVID-19 funeral policy, which you can take from the comfort of your homes. We've made it affordable because we do realize that the scourge is affecting people's pockets.
Yes.
It's affecting people's income and way of earning. So we've come up with a policy that's affordable, that people can take from the comfort of their homes for this particular scourge of COVID. We also have policies for the diaspora. So for those in the diaspora, all they need to do is get in touch with us, as I've been saying, via our online platforms, our social media platforms, and we'll get in touch and you'll get a policy without even stepping one foot into Doves.
Fantastic. Please kindly share some of those details for the viewers at home. So
our website, www.doves.co.zw, and I'm sure you can see on the screen all our platforms, on WhatsApp, on Facebook. Our Facebook page is Doves Holdings, and we are also on Twitter. So all you need to do is, on any platform that you find Doves, just type in Doves, or if you're on the net, you'll find us and we'll get in touch with you.
Fantastic. We've just been speaking to the Doves Holdings Group Public Relations Manager, Innocent Chuma. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and just giving us a run through in terms of some of the services that you're offering as Doves Holdings.
Before we go, I actually wanted to add another product that we have. Traditionally, policies are taken over 20 years. Our policies were the only assurance company with policies that mature. But we now have a package of what we call prepaid policies.
Right.
So you can decide what you want for your funeral the type of casket, has everything, and pay. You get 12 months to pay for it. So that's one of the products that we've rolled out recently for Zimbabweans to uptake on that one.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, many thanks there. We've just been speaking to Mr. Innocent Chuma, who is the Group Public Relations Manager for Doves Holdings. We're taking a commercial break. When we'll return, we'll be going back to Heroes Acre as we get to see the last rites of our national heroes.
The COVID funeral plan from Doves. This policy covers death from COVID-19 or COVID-19 related funerals. The Doves COVID funeral plan is effective immediately with no waiting period. For more information, please contact 0731 772 784, 0731 772 782, WhatsApp 0731 750 989, email call center at doves.co.zw. Visit our website www.doves.co.zw or visit the Doves Holdings Facebook page. Doves, for the ones you love.
Tazarwa zvekare vauye vatungamirire pakudyarwa kwehama yedu kuchangira kene ukanani iyo papa Tazarwa vashandi vari pakati gara Dr. John Matiza vashandi vachigara akanga ari komanda wavo vama Zimbabwe tora nzvimbo dzenyu papa Tazarwa zvichitungamirira tinotenda ipai vafundisi ivhu vagare takumbira takungena papresident pake kamenya kunyara papa Tazarwa
As much as it pleased God, His infinite wisdom and providence will allow the souls of General S.P. Honorable Dr. J.B. Matiza and General P.W. taken from this world, commit their bodies now to the ground. Earth to earth, dust to dust, ashes to
Tinotenda ndakufira nguva inei kuna permanent secretary of home affairs kuti vachitungamirira pachinguva chino chekuiswa kwemaruva ndaikumbira kuti CS Pesa permanent secretary vakadaidzira vanhu vakurumidze kufamba vavanenge vachidaidzira. Tinotenda.
Thank you, General. It is now time for laying of wreaths. We will start with family representatives. Family representatives.
Uko zaita kau? Yes, right. Kira ndai, chef adai drandi, chai drandi ya tu ngamesa.
His Excellency the President.
Commander in Chief. Concurrently, Commander in Chief. What about the Commander in Chief? Mapache, remese. Right, Commander, do not command. Up. 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 Up.
Honorable Deputy President, General Retired Dr.
Up! 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 Up!
Vice President Zimondi.
Up! 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 Up!
National Chairman.
Up!
Dove, happy to be fair. Welcome to level. Justice. Chief Justice. Chief Justice. Vale, Dero.
Up! 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 Up!
Service chiefs, starting with Commander Defense Forces.
Up! 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 Up!
Commissioner General of Police. Commissioner General of Police.
Up!
Up. 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 Commissioner General of Prisons and Correctional Services. Commissioner General of Prisons and Correctional Services.
We are just following and watching the proceedings at the National Shrine, where we've just seen the three late heroes being laid to rest. We saw their graves, their caskets being lowered into their graves, and we also observed a 15-gun salute there, according to them, their military colors. We also got to hear from the Minister of Religion praying over them, as well as the laying of wreaths ceremony that is currently taking place right now. Now, just last week, President Emmerson Mnangagwa presided over a double burial of the late Manicaland Provincial Minister of State, Dr. Ellen Gwaradzimba, as well as the late former Deputy Minister, Morton Malianga. Now, due to the pandemic, containment measures are being adhered to, including the limited numbers of family members as well as colleagues that are currently at the National Heroes Acre. There's also been a testing of COVID-19 taking place there at the Heroes Acre, just to ensure that everyone is safe there. We are just going to take a short break, and when we return, we'll just give you a little bit more information about our heroes before we see the dignitaries leave.
Introducing the COVID funeral plan from Doves. This policy covers death from COVID-19 or COVID-19 related funerals. The Doves COVID funeral plan is effective immediately with no waiting period. For more information, please contact 0731 772 784, 0731 772 782, WhatsApp 0731 750 989, email callcenter@doves.co.zw. Visit our website www.doves.co.zw or visit the Doves Holdings Facebook page. Doves, for the ones you love.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
In 1976, towards the end, at Manama Secondary School in Gwanda, the political environment changed drastically following the departure of about 7 students who were in Form 3 and Form 4, who decided to skip the border into Botswana to join the liberation struggle. Resultantly, the Rhodesian government responded by deploying soldiers in the area, and unfortunately that deployment ended up on the school campus. And this had a really serious effect on all the students who were at Manama. Come 1977, opening of the schools, I recall it was on a Sunday, as we were preparing to go in for the evening prayers. Suddenly there was commotion in the school, and we saw armed men running all over the shore and pushing everybody to come to the assembly area. And that's when we realized that we had visitors, and the visitors were comrades. And this happened when the Rhodesians had driven out of the school campus. The address then, which was given, very prompt and to the point, that you guys, we are going to the struggle. And from there, we started the march towards the border. This was a long march, 40 kilometers to be precise, to the border with Botswana.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us for this live broadcast brought to you by Doves Holdings, as we are laying to rest 3 national heroes today. That is the Lieutenant General retired, we've laid to rest Lieutenant General retired Busi Moyo, as well as Major General retired Paradzai Zimondi, as well as Dr. Joel Biggie Matiza. Now, some interesting quick facts about Dr. Joel Biggie Matiza was that he was instrumental in the construction and upgrading of the Bait Bridge Masvingo roads to regional standards, as well as the commissioned Bulawayo Harare Dualization Highway program. He was also instrumental as an architect, responsible in the mastermind for the designs for the new Parliament building at Mount Hampden, Chinhoyi University of Technology, Lupane State University, and Great Zimbabwe University designs. He was also responsible for the NASA buildings, the new Central Registry and Immigration Center buildings, as well as the Joshua Mqabugo Nkomo, as well as the Victoria Falls Airport upgrading projects. Fondly remembered for fighting for tenders for local companies to get those tenders, as well as the use of using local personnel. Now, COVID-19 is a scourge that is currently afflicting Zimbabwe, and not only Zimbabwe, but the world at large. And we continue to call for the adherence of COVID-19 regulations to all our citizens here in Zimbabwe. Please remember to always mask up, regularly sanitize. Please make sure that you wash your hands with soapy water, observe social distancing, and with a minimum of 2 meters. Let us stay safe, because you are important to us. On behalf of the crew behind the scenes, these are our frontline workers in broadcasting, and as well as on behalf of Susan Masona, Abigail Magwenzi, and myself, Zandile Ndlovu. Thank you so much for joining the News and Current Affairs programming team. My name is Zandile Ndlovu. Pleasant viewing.
Did you know that you can now get Dove's funeral cover from the comfort of your home? Simply visit our social media platforms, Facebook page, Doves Holdings. Visit our website, www.doves.co.zw. Email callcenter@doves.co.zw. So get your Dove's funeral cover from anywhere you are, with no hustles and no need to travel. Only with Doves. Doves. for the ones you love.
This live broadcast was sponsored by Doves Holdings. Doves Holdings, over a century of caring.
To both our people and the world beyond our borders, we wish to make it abundantly clear that this is not a military takeover of government. What the Zimbabwe Defense Forces is doing is to pacify a degenerating political, social, and economic situation in our country, which, if not addressed, may result in a violent conflict. We call upon all the war veterans to play a positive role in ensuring peace, stability, and unity in the country.
We are cognizant of the fact that we are now approaching the festive season, and also that we have some problems with the existing infrastructure for payment. The POS machines, as we speak now, have a big problem in their turnaround time, and it's causing a lot of long queues, for that matter, inconveniencing travelers. So what NARA has put in place is to ameliorate this problem, is that we have vouchers that will be operational from the 18th of December. Motorists will be able to buy vouchers from Zimpost or Zinara offices, and then these will be redeemed at the toll gates, and that will give a very quick turnaround, seconds, people will be passing through. And we have prepaid cards. They have been in existence, but we have eliminated the deposit that was supposed to be in that card, so that motorists can easily use the card.
Hi boys and girls, welcome back to Pen and Paper with me, Joy. And before we get started, like I'm always harping on and on about, sanitize, 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 or use soap and water and wash your hands thoroughly before you touch anything. Remember to wear your mask when you're out in public, and if it's a reusable, wash it every day so that it's clean before you use it again the next day. Right, so last time we talked about the action words, and we said that these action words can tell us when an action is happening, is it happening right now? Has it already happened, or is it going to happen? And we focused on the past tense. And I said to you that I like to use my clue phrases, my clue words. I put them at the front of a sentence in my mind. Yesterday, last month, last week, last year, last night, an hour ago, 2 hours ago. And I hold them in my mind's eye when I'm trying to change a sentence into the past tense. It really, really helps me. And I asked you to write to me and let me know if you have any ideas on how to remember the past tense. Okay, so today I've got a passage that I want us to actually change into the past tense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you this short story. It's a short story, and I want us to change it into past tense. So it's I hope you won't be scared, but this is a horror story, and it was written by Virginia E. Zimmer, and the title is An Active Imagination. Right. The thud comes again. Rose clicks the television silent, straining her ear against the storm that splatters the roof with a mixture of rain and hail. Tentacles of delicate fog scrape across the window glass, seeking shelter from the gale winds. The soft thump comes from the basement, as though someone or something has knocked a book to the floor. Rose grips the arms of the chair and curses her husband for leaving her alone on a night like this, knowing she is fearful of storms, empty houses, and prowlers, however imaginary they might be. She has already lit every lamp and overhead light in the house, but they fail to dispel damp, dreary feelings of impending doom. Her husband, Jimmy, has nagged her about getting a dog to keep her company on the nights he works late. But Rose will not hear of such a thing. What if the dog gets rabies and goes mad while she's alone with him? Her small, delicate frame will be no match for a snarling, crazy in the head animal who will shred her to pieces with its gnashing teeth. The television screen flickers in muted silence as it runs the news story again, warning the public about the man with the knife. He has been evading the police for weeks, leaving behind no clues about how he slaughters women who are home alone. But Rose knows where the man is. He is in her basement, skulking around in the dark with a butcher knife between his teeth. Now, that is quite a scary story, but don't be afraid. It is called an active imagination. So this is all something that's happening in someone's imagination. So she's making it up. So don't worry. So I'm going to read that again. And I want you to just pay attention to what action you are hearing taking place. Okay. An active imagination. The thud comes again. Rose clicks the television silent, straining her ear against the storm that splatters the roof with a mixture of rain and hail. Tentacles of delicate fog scrape across the window glass, seeking shelter from the gale winds. The soft thump comes from the basement, as though someone or something has knocked a book to the floor. Rose grips the arms of the chair and curses her husband for leaving her alone on a night like this, knowing she is fearful of storms, empty houses, and prowlers, however imaginary they might be. She has already lit every lamp and overhead light in the house, but they fail to dispel damp, dreary feeling of impending doom. Her husband Jimmy has nagged her about getting a dog to keep her company on the night he works late. But Rose will not hear of such a thing. What if the dog gets rabies and goes mad while she's alone with him? Her delicate frame will be no match for a snarling, crazy in the head animal who will shred her to pieces with its gnashing teeth. The The television screen flickers in muted silence as it runs the news story again, warning the public about the man with the knife. He has been evading the police for weeks, leaving no clues behind about how he slaughters women who are home alone. But Rose knows where the man is. He's in her basement, skulking around in the dark with the butcher knife between his teeth. Right, now I want us to take this slowly, okay? And we're going to identify the verbs in this passage. So the thud comes again. I think the first word we've gotten there is comes. Rose clicks the television silent, straining her ear against. So she's straining. So when you're straining your ear, it means that you're really listening carefully. You know, sometimes you think you hear a sound and then you put the volume down on the TV or the radio, and then you really, because that you can try and figure out if what you heard was your imagination or if you really heard it, okay? So that's straining your ears against the storm that splatters the roof with a mixture of rain and hail. Tentacles of delicate fog scrape across the window glass, seeking shelter from the gale winds. Okay, seeking is looking for. When you scrape, it's just you're brushing against something. Okay, so I want us to, we're going to focus on these words because that's the first paragraph. So these are the first action words, the first verbs that we meet in our story. The thud comes again. Rose clicks the television silent, straining her ear against the storm that splatters the roof with a mixture of rain and hail. Tentacles of delicate fog scrape across the window glass, seeking shelter from the gale winds. Now we're going to turn these into the past. Comes changes to. I hope you said this out loud, because I said this in my head. Came. Clicks changes to. Clicked. Straining, that's listening very carefully, changes to strained. Splatters, that's just the rain or the hail just hitting on something and splashing across. Splattered. Scrape becomes scraped. Seeking. I know that this one is a little bit difficult actually. So seeking actually changes to sought. The past tense of seeking is sought. And seeking means looking for. Okay. Right. So I'm going to read that passage again, and then I want you to listen very carefully. We're going to see if we got it right. And I'm going to read it, substituting our verbs from the present tense, substituting them for our new verbs that are in the past tense. So the thud came again. Rose clicked the television silent, strained her ear against the storm that splattered the roof with a mixture of rain and hail. Tentacles of delicate fog scraped across the window glass and sought shelter from the gale winds. That one was pretty straightforward. I'm sure you managed to keep up with me on that one. Now it gets a little bit more complicated. The soft thump comes from the basement as though someone or something has knocked a book to the floor. Rose grips the arms of the chair and curses her husband alone for leaving her alone on a night like this, knowing she's fearful of storms, empty houses, and prowlers, however imaginary they might be. Okay, I'm just going to take it that far so that we don't lose our place. So the soft thump comes. We've got comes again from the basement as though someone or something has knocked a book to the floor. Rose grips the arms of the chair and curses. So when you're cursing, it means you're not saying very nice things, which is not a good habit anyway. Her husband for leaving her alone on a night like this, knowing she's fearful of storms, empty houses and prowlers, however imaginary they might be. I'm going to change might. Okay. Right, so we've had that one already, and we said it changes to came. Has knocked, had knocked. I'm just going to squash these in so that I can have space for all the verbs that I'm going to use. Grips changes to gripped. Curses changes to cursed. Leaving might be let me change this to may have been. Right, so let's try and take that away, filling in our new words from the past tense. So the soft thump came from the basement as though someone or something had knocked a book to the floor. Rose gripped the arms of the chair and cursed her husband for having left her alone on a night like this, knowing she is fearful of storms. It should be knowing